Fucking YouTube. It even ruined the bit that I was going to do here. I was going to do a bit here where I was going to say, finally we've got it. Enough stalling. I'm fucking doing this. I stalled for a long time. I didn't have access to people. And now I have access to people. All the messages have gone out. And people have replied. It's time to stop putting this off. You've had your chance to reply. And all of you haven't but one. So now we're doing it. And here we go. Oh! This is Judy Booty. Judy is a supporter of mine on Maker Support. I actually like Maker Support a lot better than Patreon. Saying Patreon was funny, but Maker Support is a lot more funny to me. Judy was birthed into this world by a blessed woman who was lucky enough to be implanted with great seed by a man who is without peer. I am referring, of course, to the Father. It's a person who is sometimes referenced in the comments. My show is multidimensional. The deeper you dive into it, the more interesting shit gets. The Father is somebody that I have great esteem for. I revere this man. Judy's father is a cool guy. I love him to death. He sometimes watches my videos, and he sometimes tells me that I'm very much right. And when he does that, I know that I'm speaking to a man that knows his shit. I know the man's background somewhat. Man knows his shit. So when he says I'm right, you can be sure it's like somebody who really knows what they're talking about says that I'm right. I'm just saying. So, yeah, I like Judy's dad. Cracks me up. And the thing that makes it just the icing on the cake, man, the best part about Judy's dad is that all of this just annoys the shit out of Judy. It pisses her off to no end that I always talk about her dad like... I started doing this like innocently enough just as kind of a joke, and she didn't like it, and it made me laugh so much that it annoyed her, so I do it all the time now. And that's why I'm spending like 4 minutes to talk about how great Judy's dad is. This is probably the longest shout out I've ever given for a person who's given me money. But this is the shout out that Judy wanted. So I do what you guys asked me to do. You know, she said shout out to the Father. Here we are. So, yeah. Big ups to Judy's dad. If you're watching this, hi. And Judy, thank you very much for support. It's an honor to have the spawn of the Father give me money. See, and then that was going to be funny because I was going to make it sound like I was going to go into the fucking actual memo, but then I was going to start doing the maker split. Layers of joke. I was making what Ron Bennington calls joke pyramid, right? You layer jokes on top of each other until finally you reach the apex of funny, and if you continued past that, it's fucking ridiculous. I was layering 2 jokes on top of... Fuck it. Anyways, here we go. 2! Oh, we're going right into it. 2 all members of the House of Representatives. Holy shit, everybody. From HPSCI minority. I think that's the House Permanent Subcommittee on Intelligence. I think that's what HPSCI stands for. Don't ask me. Date, January 29th, 2018. This was written not too terribly long ago. I don't remember when the other one was written. Might mean nothing. I don't know. Correcting the record. The Russia investigation. We're correcting the record. The HPSCI majority's move to release to the House of Representatives its allegations against the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Department of Justice is a transparent effort to undermine those agencies, the Special Counsel and Congress investigations. It also risks public exposure of sensitive sources and methods for no legitimate purpose. Now, dude, sensitive sources and methods. The sensitive source was a dude that duped you guys. That's what's sensitive about him. He got one over on you for a lot of fucking money. He gave you a story of pissing Russian hookers and you ate it like it was fine wine. That's what you don't want exposed. Let's not fucking beat around the bush here, okay? Continuing on. FBI and DOJ officials did, underline, not quoted, abuse the Foreign Intelligence Services Act, FISA, process, omit material information, or assert this vital tool to spy on the Trump campaign. In fact, DOJ and FBI would have been remiss in their duty to protect the country had they not sought a FISA warrant and repeated renewals to conduct temporarily surveillance of Carter Page, someone the FBI assessed to be an agent of the Russian government. DOJ met the rigor, transparency, and evidentiary basis needed to meet FISA's probable cause requirement by demonstrating contemporaneous evidence of Russia's election interference, concerning Russian links and outreach to Trump's campaign officials, Page's history with Russian intelligence, and something Page suspicious activities in 2016, including in Moscow. Well, I don't know what that would be. But, like, so far, this just sounds like it wasn't anything bad because it was really good. Again, it's the sending of the Democratic National Platform to prove what the great things the Democrats are doing. It's the same fucking smoke and mirrors. Oh, no. This is all up and up. Fantastic. It's good water. Water from work is good. The committee's minority has therefore prepared this memorandum to correct the record. Well, thank God. Christopher Steele's raw intelligence reporting did not inform the FBI's decision to initiate its counterintelligence investigation in late July 2016. In fact, the FBI's closely held investigative team only received Steele's reporting in mid-September, more than 7 weeks later. The FBI and subsequently the special counsel's investigation into links between the Russian government and Trump's campaign associates has been based on troubling law enforcement and intelligence information unrelated to the dossier. Well, in the other memo, didn't they kind of allude to the fact that, like, this Steele guy was kind of hired to find information and they just went ahead with the FISA warrant based on his future findings that they said that he had? Like, I thought that was kind of... Maybe I'm fucking with that in my head. I don't know. But I thought that was kind of alluded to, wasn't it? I might be wrong. It's been a while since I read the other memos. More of the memos. DOJ's October 21, 2016 FISA application and 3 subsequent renewals carefully outlined for the court in a multi-pronged rationale for surveilling Page, who at the time of the first application was no longer with the Trump campaign. DOJ detailed Page's past relationship with Russian spies an interaction with Russian officials. Oh my God, it's getting good right before it gets redacted. During the 2016 campaign, ow, the whole sentence is redacted. Oh. DOJ cited multiple sources to support the case for surveilling Page, but made only narrow use of information from Steele's sources about Page's specific activities in 2016, chiefly his suspected July 2016 meetings in Moscow with Russian officials. Another whole redacted sentence. In fact, the FBI interviewed Page in March 2016 about his contact with Russian intelligence, the very month candidate Donald Trump named him foreign policy advisor. Okay. As DOJ informed the court in subsequent renewals, redacted shit. Steele's reporting about Page's Moscow meetings, redacted shit. DOJ's applications did not otherwise rely on Steele's reporting, including any salacious allegations that continues about Trump and the FBI never paid Steele for this reporting. While explaining why the FBI viewed Steele's reporting and source as reliable and credible, DOJ also disclosed Steele's prior relationship with the FBI, the fact of and reason for his termination as a source, and the assessed political motivations of those who hired him. The committee majority's memorandum, which draws selectively on highly sensitive classified information, includes other dissertations and misrepresentations, right? Distortions, god damn it. Distortions and misrepresentations that are contradicted by the underlying classified documents, which the vast majority of members of the Committee of the House have not had the opportunity to view, and which Chairman Nunes chose not to read himself. Background. Like, all of this just sounds like... No, it's not. It's really not, because you didn't read it. On January 18, 2018, fuck me up, the committee majority, during an unrelated business meeting, forced a surprise vote to release to the full House a profoundly misleading memorandum alleging serious abuses by the FBI and DOJ. Majority staff drafted the document in secret on behalf of Chairman David Nunes and reportedly with guidance to input from don't bring Trey Gowdy into this shit. And then rushed a party line vote without prior notice. Man, okay, so now we're saying that the majority made the memo up themselves and just put his name on it with guidance and input from Trey Gowdy. Which, if you got anybody to give you guidance and input, Jesus, Trey Gowdy's the guy to go to. But, so, yeah, so that's real. Okay. This was by design. The overwhelming majority of committee members never received DOJ authorization to access the underlying classified information and therefore could not judge the veracity of Chairman Nunes' claims. Due to sensitive sources and methods, DOJ provided access only to the committee's chair and ranking member, or respective designees, and limited staff to facilitate the committee's investigation into Russia's covert campaign to influence the 2016 U.S. election. Man, it's just written like a campaign speech, isn't it? As DOJ has confirmed publicly, it did not authorize the broader release of this information with Congress or to the public. Chairman Nunes refused to allow DOJ and the FBI to review his document until he permitted the FBI director to see it for the first time. Well, yeah. What? Like, doesn't that seem like it would be the normal way it would go? And then, review the document and permitted... I want to read that sentence again. As DOJ has confirmed publicly, it did not authorize the broader release of this information within... Wait, did I just fuck up? Where did I skip to? God damn it. As DOJ has confirmed publicly, it did not authorize the broader release of this information within Congress or to the public, and Chairman Nunes refused to allow DOJ and the FBI to review his document until he permitted the FBI director to see it for the first time in HPSCI's secure spaces late on Sunday, January 28th, 10 days after disclosure to the House. Oh. So the problem there is that Chairman Nunes let the House see the memo 10 days before he allowed the FBI director to see it, and everybody else in DOJ and FBI got to see it, or however the fuck that works. Well, like, doesn't the FBI, the DOJ, like, work for the fucking, like, don't they work for the larger bodies of government? Like, don't they work for the president or some shit like that? Like, do they have to fucking disclose to the FBI before they disclose to the other members of... It just seems like, it doesn't seem odd to me that the House would get to see it first. You know? Like, that's... whatever. Maybe this all could be my bias, I don't know, but that doesn't seem odd to me. That, you know, I don't know. FBI's counterintelligence investigation. In its October 2016 FISA application and subsequent renewals, DOJ accurately informed the court that the FBI initiated, man, I'm getting so excited, its counterintelligence investigation on July 30th, 2016 after receiving information something. George Papadopoulos, bring a big poppy into it, revealed something that individuals linked to Russia who took an interest in Papadopoulos as a Trump campaign foreign policy advisor informed him in late April 2016 that Russia did something. Papadopoulos' disclosure, moreover, occurred against the backdrop of Russia's aggressive covert campaign to influence our elections, which the FBI was already monitoring. We would later learn in Papadopoulos' plea, learn in Papadopoulos' plea that the information the Russians could assist by anonymously releasing were thousands of Hillary Clinton's emails. God damn. Learn the Papadopoulos' plea that the information the Russians could assist by anonymously... oh, fuck me. Okay. DOJ told the court the truth. Its representation was consistent with the FBI's underlying investigative record, which current and former senior officials later corroborated. In extensive committee testimony, Christopher Steele's reporting, which he began to share with the FBI agent, who's not going to be named, through the end of October 2016, played no role in launching the FBI's counterintelligence investigation into Russia interference and links to the Trump campaign. In fact, Steele's reporting did not reach the counterintelligence team investigating Russia at FBI headquarters until mid-September 2016. More than 7 weeks after the FBI opened its investigation, because the probe's existence was so closely held within the FBI. By then, the FBI had already opened up subsequent sub-inquiries into individuals linked to the Trump campaign and former campaign foreign policy advisor Carter Page. Right? I imagine it's listing a bunch of people. As committee testimony bears out, the FBI would have continued its investigation, including against some kind of individual, even if it had never received information from Steele, never applied for a FISA warrant against Page, or if the FISC had rejected the application. Okay. DOJ's FISA application and renewals. The initial warrant application and subsequent renewals received independent security and approved by 4 different federal judges, 2 of whom were appointed by President George W., 1 by George H.W. Bush, and 1 by President Ronald Reagan. Oh, apparently not Reagan. DOJ first applied to the FISC on October 21st, 2016. That's an old judge. For a warrant to permit the FBI to initiate electronic surveillance and physical search of Page for 90 days consistent with FISA requirements. The court approved 3 renewals in early January 2017, early April 2017, and late June 2017, which authorized the FBI to maintain surveillance on Page until late September 2017. Senior DOJ and FBI officials appointed by the Obama and Trump administrations, including Acting Attorney General Dana Boente and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rothstein, certified the application with the court. FISA was not used to spy on Trump or his campaign. As the Trump campaign and Page have acknowledged, Page ended his formal affiliation with the campaign months before DOJ applied for a warrant. DOJ, moreover, submitted the initial application less than 3 weeks before the election, even though the FBI's investigation had been ongoing since the end of July 2016. Now, the FISA was not used to spy on Trump or his campaign. Now, Carter Page was part of Trump's campaign. Carter Page left Trump's campaign. But the FISA warrant was about Carter Page and his time in the Trump campaign. It's a stretch to say that it was not used to spy on Trump when it was used to spy on somebody who had left Trump's campaign in regards to Trump's campaign. Whatever. It's, you know, it's the English language. It's very fluid. Speaking of which, this is very long. There's a lot of fucking pages to this. And there's a lot of words. My God. Isn't that what people call word salad? Isn't this all like what people call word salad? Isn't that what this is? I'm so fuzzy on all the stupid ass terms. DOJ's warrant request was based on compelling evidence and probable cause to believe Page was knowingly assisting clandestine Russian intelligence activities in the U.S. Now it starts getting really redacted, I bet. Page's connection to Russian government and intelligence officials. The FBI had an independent basis for investigating Page's motivations and actions during the campaign transition and following the inauguration. As DOJ described in detail to the court, Page had an extensive record as a, who even knows, probably Russian fucking spy. Prior to joining the Trump campaign, he resided in Moscow from 2004 to 2017 and pursued business deals with Russia's state-owned energy company Gazprom. Prom. I imagine it's not Prom. Yeah, whatever. A whole redacted thing. As early as someday, a Russian intelligence officer with some name targeted Page for recruitment. Page showed that person is penis. I want to just start filling it. I want to play Mad Libs with this at this fucking point. Page remained on the radar of Russian intelligence and the FBI. In 2013, prosecutors indicted 3 other Russian spies, 2 of whom targeted Page for recruitment. The FBI also interviewed Page multiple times about his Russian intelligence contacts, including in March 2016. The FBI is concerned about and knowledge of Page's activities, therefore, long predate the FBI's receipt of Steele's information. Alright. Page's suspicious activity during the 2016 campaign. The FISA applications also detail Page's suspicious activity after joining the Trump campaign in March 2016. Things were done and happened, and Page traveled to Moscow in July 2016, during which he gave a university commencement address, an honor usually reserved for well-known luminaries. Well, is he? I mean, I don't fucking know who he is. Whatever. Dude, it all just seems like they're trying to say that they were looking into Trump long before the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier is just embarrassing. All the other shit's kind of fucking illegal. You're not addressing that at all. It is in this specific subsection of the applications that DOJ refers to Steele's reporting on Page and his alleged coordination with Russian officials. Steele's information about Page was consistent with the FBI's assessment of Russian intelligence efforts to recruit him and his connections to Russian persons of interest. In particular, Steele's sources reported that Page met separately while in Russia with Igor Sechin, a close associate of Vladimir Putin, an executive chairman of fuck me, I can't even read that. Russia's state-owned oil company, and Igor Devkin, a senior Kremlin official, probably also close to Putin. Session allegedly discussed the prospect of future U.S.-Russia energy cooperation and an associated move to lift Ukraine-related Western sanctions against Russia. Devkin allegedly disclosed to Page that the Kremlin possessed compromising information on Clinton and noted that the possibility of its being released to candidate number one's campaign. Note, candidate number one refers to candidate Trump. That's okay. Close thing. This closely tracks what the other Russian contacts were informing other Trump foreign policy advisor George Papadopoulos. Fuck, man, none of that shit makes any sense to me. Like, it was the emails. They were Hillary Clinton's emails. Like, the compromising information, the compromat of it was, they're actually Hillary Clinton's emails. So, in subsequent FISA renewals, DOJ provided additional information obtained through multiple independent sources that corroborated Steele's reporting. Fucking something there. There's something else. Page's something in Moscow with senior Russian officials as well as meetings with Russian officials. This information contradicts Page's November 2nd, 2017 testimony to the committee in which he initially denied any such meetings, and then was forced to admit speaking with Dvorkovich and meeting with Ronsnif. Investor Relations Chief Andrei Baranov. The court-approved surveillance of Page allowed FBI to collect valuable intelligence. The FISA renewals demonstrate the FBI collected important investigative information and leads by conducting court-approved surveillance. For instance, DOJ also documented evidence that Page anticipated and repeatedly contacted in an effort to present himself as 13. Page's efforts to also contradict his sworn testimony to our committee. Wow. DOJ's transparency about Christopher Steele. Far from omitting material facts about Steele, as the majority claims, DOJ repeatedly informed the court about Steele's background, credibility, and potential bias. DOJ explained in detail Steele's prior relationship with the compensation from the FBI, his credibility, reporting history, and source network. The fact of and reason for his termination as a source in late October 2016, and the likely political motivations of those who hired Steele. DOJ was transparent with court about Steele's sourcing. The committee majority, which had earlier accused Obama administration officials of improper unmasking, faults DOJ for not revealing the names of specific U.S. persons and entities in the FISA application and subsequent renewals. In fact, DOJ appropriately upheld its long-standing practice of protecting U.S. citizen information by purposefully not unmasking U.S. person and entity names unless they were themselves the subject of a counterintelligence investigation. DOJ instead used generic identifiers that provided the court with more than sufficient information to understand the political context of Steele's research. In an extensive explanation to the court, DOJ discloses that Steele... Oh, fuck me, I'm going to have to zoom into this shit. It's getting ridiculous. Alright. Italics now? God damn. It discloses that Steele was approached by an identified U.S. person who indicated to source number one Steele that a U.S.-based law firm had hired the identified U.S. person to conduct research regarding candidate number one's ties to Russia. The identified U.S. person and source number 1 have a long-standing business relationship. The identified U.S. person hired source number 1 to conduct this research, and that identified U.S. person never advised source number 1 as to the motivation behind the research into candidate number 1's ties to Russia. The FBI speculates that the identified U.S. person was likely looking for information that could be used to discredit candidate number 1's campaign. Now, is candidate number 1 still fucking Trump? Yeah, it is. Alright. So, U.S. person is Steele, or white. Oh, fuck me. I don't know. Contrary to the majority's assertion that DOJ fails to mention that Steele's research was commissioned by political actors to obtain derogatory information on Donald Trump's ties to Russia, DOJ in fact informed the court accurately that Steele was hired by politically motivated U.S. persons and entities, and that his research appeared intended for use to discredit Trump's campaign. Why? I mean, the politically motivated U.S. person was fucking Hillary Clinton. Like, shouldn't it be candidate number 2? Just saying. DOJ explained the FBI's reasonable basis for finding Steele credible. The applications correctly described Steele as... The applications also reviewed Steele's multi-year history of credible reporting on Russia and other matters, including information DOJ used in criminal proceedings. Senior FBI and DOJ officials have repeatedly affirmed to the committee the reliability and credibility of Steele's reporting. An assessment also reflected in the FBI's underlying source documents. The FBI has undertaken a rigorous process to vet allegations from Steele's reporting, including with regard to Page. The FBI properly notified the FISC after it terminated Steele as a source for making unauthorized disclosures to the media. The majority cites no evidence that the FBI, prior to filing its initial October 21, 2016 application, actually knew or should have known of any allegedly inappropriate media contacts by Steele. Nor do they cite evidence that Steele's disclosed to Yahoo details included in the FISA warrant, since the British court filings to which they refer to do not address what Steele may have said to Yahoo. So, okay, so what you're saying is the FBI properly notified the FISC because none of that shit mattered, so who cared? That's why they didn't say anything. Is that what that essentially says there? Okay. DOJ informed the court in its renewals that the FBI acted promptly to terminate Steele after learning from him after DOJ filed the first warrant application that he had discussed his work with a media outlet in late October. The January 2018 renewal further explained to the court that Steele told the FBI that he made his unauthorized media disclosure because of his frustration at Director Comey's public announcement shortly before the election that the FBI reopened its investigation into candidate Clinton's email use. So it's not his fault that he disclosed shit because he was pissed. Because of Director Comey. It's all just his fucking fault, isn't it? DOJ never paid Steele for the dossier. The majority asserts that the FBI had separately authorized payment to Steele for his research on Trump, but neglects to mention that payment was canceled and never made. As the FBI records, the committee testimony confirms, although the FBI initially considered compensation of some sort, Steele ultimately never received payment from the FBI for any dossier-related information. DOJ accurately informed the court that Steele had been an FBI confidential human source since someday, for which he was compensated something by the FBI. Payment for previously shared information of value unrelated to the FBI's Russia investigation. Fair enough. So you didn't pay him because he never got paid. Fair enough. Additional omissions, errors, and distortions in the majority's memorandum. DOJ appropriately provided the court with a comprehensive explanation of Russia's election interference, including evidence that Russia courted another Trump campaign advisor, Papadopoulos, and that Russian agents previewed their hack and dissemination of stolen emails. In claiming that there is no evidence of any cooperation or conspiracy between Page and Papadopoulos, the majority misstates the reason why DOJ specifically explained Russia's courting of Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos' interaction with Russian agents, coupled with real-time evidence of Russian election interference, provided the court with a broader context in which to evaluate Russia's clandestine activities and Page's history and alleged contact with Russian officials. Moreover, since only Page did something, no evidence of a separate conspiracy between him and Papadopoulos was required. DOJ would have been negligent in omitting vital information about Papadopoulos and Russia's concerted efforts. In its court filings, DOJ made proper use of news coverage. The majority falsely claims that the FISA materials relied heavily on a September 23, 2016 Yahoo News article by Michael Isikoff, and that this article does not corroborate the Steele dossier because it is derived from information leaked by Steele himself. In fact, DOJ referenced Isikoff's article alongside another article the majority fails to mention, did not provide separate corroboration for Steele's reporting, but instead to inform the court of Page's public denial of his suspected meetings in Moscow, which Page also echoed in a September 25, 2016 letter to FBI Comey saying something. Need more water. This is starting to put me to fucking sleep. The majority's reference to Bruce Orr is misleading. The majority mischaracterizes Bruce Orr's role, overstates the significance of his interactions with Steele, and misleads about the time frame of Orr's communication with the FBI. In late November 2016, Orr informed the FBI of his prior professional relationship with Steele and information that Steele shared with him, including Steele's concern about Trump being compromised by Russia. He also described his wife's contract work with Fusion GPS, the firm that hired Steele separately. This occurred weeks after the election and more than a month after the court approved the initial FISA application. The majority describes Bruce Orr as a senior DOJ official who worked closely with Deputy Attorney General Yates and later Rosenstein in order to imply that Orr was somehow involved in the FISA process, but there is no indication no indication this is the case. Bruce Orr is a well-respected career professional whose portfolio is drugs and organized crime. Not counterintelligence. There is no evidence that he would have known about the Page FISA applications and their contents. The majority's assertions, moreover, are irrelevant in determining the veracity of Steele's reporting. By the time Orr debriefs with the FBI, it had already determined Steele as the source and was independently corroborating Steele's reporting about Page's activities. Bruce Orr took the initiative to inform the FBI of what he knew, and the majority does him a grave disservice by suggesting he is part of some malign conspiracy. Finally, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page's text messages are irrelevant to the FISA application. The majority gratuitously includes reference to Strzok and Page at the end of their memorandum in an effort to imply that political bias infected the FBI's investigation and DOJ's FISA applications. In fact, neither Strzok nor Page served as affiants on the applications, which were the product of extensive and senior DOJ and FBI review. In demonizing both career professionals, the majority accuses them of orchestrating leaks to the media. Serious charge. Omits inconvenient text messages in which they critiqued a wide range of other officials and candidates from both parties, does not disclose that FBI Director Deputy McCabe testified to the committee that he had no idea what page and Strzok were referring to in their insurance policy text, and ignores Strzok's acknowledged role in preparing a public declaration by then-Director Comey about former Secretary Clinton's extreme carelessness in handling classified information, which greatly damaged Clinton's public reputation in the days just prior to the presidential election. Oh. There's letters. Oh, it's annotated. Oh, is this now all the annotations? Oh. Yeah, I'm not gonna like just read all the annotations because. Oh. Papadopoulos, October 5th, 2017. Guilty plea adds further texture to this initial tip by clarifying that a Russian agent told Papadopoulos that the Russians have dirt on her. The Russians had emails of Clinton. They have thousands of emails. U.S. versus George Papadopoulos. They're her emails. Like, they're her emails. If Russia was giving us Hillary Clinton's actual emails, like, they're her emails. Oh, my God. Under the special counsel's direction, Flynn and Papadopoulos have both pled guilty to lying to federal investigators and are cooperating with the special counsel's investigation, while Manafort and his longtime aide, former Trump deputy campaign manager Rick Gates, have been indicated on multiple counts and are awaiting trial. Interesting. It's an application. More stuff that I would read if I had it, but I don't have it. FBI and broader intelligence community's high confidence assessment that the Russian government was engaged in a covert interference campaign to influence the 2016 election, including that Russian intelligence actors compromised the DNC, and WikiLeaks subsequently leaked in the July 2016 a trove of DNC emails. Department of Justice Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court application, blah, 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 repeated and updated with new information, something going on. They're still her emails. Like, oh my God. Glenn Simpson, Christopher Steele, Donald Trump. Damn. Yeah, it doesn't look like, and then the last page, of course, is just fucking one redacted thing and one not redacted thing. So there you go. I mean, it sounded to me a lot like what they said isn't true because of what we're saying. Like, I'm not going to look through and research all of those fucking, oh my God. I don't even know if I could actually find those, many of those things. I don't know how much of it's public information. It's a lot of word salad. Now, whether or not any of it's true, I don't know. I don't know that anything from this memo is any more true than I knew anything from the last memo was. I just thought it was interesting. I think it's very interesting what they're saying. But what they're saying is pretty much like the Steele dossier didn't have anything to do with anything, but there you go. And all the other things he said aren't true because, God, if only you had the text messages between Strzok and Page that you didn't see that said all sorts of stuff about other people, man, you know, then you'd see them specifically saying, we cannot let this man win. You know, that doesn't mean as much. They said the same thing about Hillary, too. Dude, I'm just saying, like, it seems like a load of horseshit. It does. It seems like a load of horseshit to me. Some of it sounded fair enough. Some of it was like, okay. Some of it's very confusing. There's a whole lot of words. a whole lot of words, and many of them don't make sense because we lose a lot with the redactions. That's why I kind of thought it was pointless to even put this out, because it was going to sound fucking whiny, and you're going to lose a lot of context because of the redactions, because they had to add so much. It's lawyer speak. You ever read a contract written by a really good lawyer? You can't understand any of it. It makes no fucking sense. That's the point. Makes no sense. But it sounds like it makes sense. Right? You know what I mean? It's tricky. And that's what this kind of sounds like to me. It's got a lot of annotations. You know? It looks... The 3 pages of... 3 pages? The fucking 3 pages of annotations. You know what that reminds me of? I mean, I know that it's important to do that kind of stuff in these kind of official documents and shit like that. But it reminds me of like when you're doing a school project and you want the teacher to think that you did a really hard job on it. So you just load in like a bunch of sources that you pulled like one fact from. You know, I've got 10 things that I answer and 10 sources. Isn't that awesome? You know. But it's just like additional work for no real reason because all 10 questions were in one source. You know, like I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps it's my bias. Perhaps it's my bias. It might just be. But honestly, I didn't really buy the new. It wasn't like I read the Nunes memo and I was like, oh my god, fucking Hillary Clinton and collusion. We need to start going after her. I was like, well, that's cool. Sounds like it's a whole lot of drama going on. Sounds like a movie. There's a whole lot of weird connections and shit like that. It was very interesting. And this is very interesting too. It's just more interesting because of the confusion I have. I don't really know what to think of it. Because it's like I'm questioning everything I think of it because I'm questioning whether or not it's part of my bias. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm still tired. Did any of that make sense to any of you? Fucking I don't know. I don't get it. Some of the things I got, and I was like, okay. And it seems all right. Now that I'm thinking about it, what it seems like is like the actual points where they have something. It was very concise and to the point, and it made sense. And all of the points where they really don't have anything sounded very weird and confusing and had a lot of redactions in it. That's kind of what I'm drawing from this. So, I don't know. Maybe that's what you guys see. Maybe it's not. If anybody has any clarification on this, please put it in the comments because a lot of it didn't make any fucking sense to me. But whatever. That's why we read it and we source the discussion now into the comments, and we figure out what we're all going to think about it from there. Because I am totally undecided on this one. I have no opinion on it one way or another. I don't know what to think. Right now I'm thinking the shit that we have down sounded very good. The shit that it was kind of like, we're going to make it sound really confusing. That's what it sounds like to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's my bias. But that's what it sounds like to me. This used to be me. A sad, sad puppy. No food in the fridge, holes in my pillowcase, and all out of... Recently, things have been going great. You all have helped me out a lot. Now I have a fridge full of takeout, new pillowcases, and let's be honest, I'm never out of... But the reason that things have changed around for me like that is because I've had a lot of pressure taken off of me for buying stuff for making videos for you guys. You guys helped me buy a new capture box when my old one broke. You helped me buy a new PC when the other one turned into poop. And you helped me get to Perfect Circle concerts so that I could share that experiences with you guys. Recently I've kind of had to change the way I do things, but I found another way. You can find me on Maker's Support. I'll have a link in the description, and if you'd like to donate money to keep this sort of thing going, then that's where you can do it.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. I hope you have fun. Bye.